From the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas, as you get a look at the crowd exiting the building following the 2019 Mr. Olympia press conference. This is RXMuscle's continuing coverage of the 2019 Mr. Olympia weekend, brought to you by Chemical Warfare. That's chemical-warfare.com. Hi everyone, Siddique Farooqi, RXMuscle.com. Joined to my right by Milos Sarcev, joining us for Olympia weekend, and then of course, Chris, the technician, Aceto. We just got out of the 2019 Mr. Olympia press conference, and Milos, towards the end of the conference, you looked over at Chris and I, and you said to yourself, I'm able to figure out who's going to win Mr. Olympia just by looking at their faces on the stage. Who's going to win Mr. Olympia based off what you saw?
Okay, well, this is what I was going to say. Back when I...
Wait. Is that Chris Cormier?
That's Chris Cormier.
Is that Chris Cormier over there? All right, Chris. You know you can't walk by without joining us. All right, but hold on. I just wanted to get this quick thought from Milos. Milos, just by judging the faces, who's going to walk away with the Sandow Trophy?
Okay, judging by faces, and both Chris is going to tell you. Rolly, huh? No, we always look at the face, and when you see when somebody is sucked in, you usually know that they are in condition. So Dexter Jackson looks sucked up to the max. He looks like he's in running. Rolly Winkler, for me, the way he looked, really, you can see that he's in shape. Biggest favorite, Brandon Curry, didn't look like he is much sucked in. And as I talked to Chris, he says probably is coming in too heavy. So you have another 24 hours, and I think if you're looking for what the judges should look for, because Sean Roden won last year on the symmetry, proportion, and condition, I don't think the size is going to matter that much. So if I would be in Brandon's corner, I would tell him suck up and come bone dry, and even if you're not this full, you need to get your condition right.
All right, Chris Cormier, last year, I heard you throughout the course of the entire press conference. You were live streaming. You were yelling things to Breon on stage. You were rather quiet this time around. What happened?
Oh, no, I was just checking it out, listening. I did a small little live stream, but I was a little quiet, just observing, listening.
What did you make of what you just saw in there in the 2019 Olympia press conference?
Just happy to see all the guys up there. Everyone had the same type of energy. But a lot of guys look at they're in shape. I think I'm curious to see how Dexter looks, because Dexter knows how to compete. He's been there, has done that, and he knows how to bring in those trademark body parts and the areas where he's very defined. Where a lot of people are not. He still has those things, and he knows how to woo the judges in his favor. So I'm really excited to see how it's going to go. Brandon has been showing his body the whole year. If he dries out enough, then he's going to be a force to reckon with. In Rolly, he was a People's Champion last year, and he looked very dry in the face. So I'm just curious to see how these guys looking. And we got Breon going for the classic physique, so I'm really excited to see his body come together, and hope he has all his attributes that we worked on the whole year. And I'm just excited to see all these guys compete.
Chris, last year, you were very unsatisfied with the tone of the conference. You said it was, quote, the gutterization of bodybuilding. You felt as if the smack talk had really run its course, really jumped the shark. Your assessment of what you just saw in there, was it a little bit more conversation, a little bit more education, a little bit more to your liking?
It was very sleepy. I mean, half the people were, 20 minutes in was falling asleep, right? I mean, it started out like incredibly exciting, right? The way they introduced the athletes, Jay Cutler. Exactly, and brought the athletes down in the middle with people high-fiving on each side. But, no press conference needs to last more than 30, 35 minutes. I mean, it becomes like a Facebook profile on each athlete. Each athlete gives their testimony of, their struggles and their tribulations and, why they're in the best shape of their life. And it, has a boring element to it after a while. And, it just, I understand it's a way to publicize the event, but, I think people would obviously get far more benefit from going to meet the Olympians tonight. People love that. The lines are long. It's exciting. They get to meet people. I don't know if they're trying to make it entertaining, or I'm still always confused about what the press conference is supposed to be about.
Well, Milos, let me go to you on this bit, because just about everyone on that stage we have seen before, anybody who hasn't been on that stage, at least we've heard from them before. What was unique about this press conference, for the first time, the American audience, the international audience, got to see Hadi Choopan, and they gave him some extensive time on the microphone. He had a lot to say clearly. Your thoughts on what you heard out of the Persian Wolf?
Well, let me tell you, I'm a huge fan of Hadi. I saw him compete and earn the pro card. It was in Dubai. He won an amateur class, and he was allowed to compete next day as a pro, play second to Ruli. And I mean, condition was just killing Ruli, completely. And really, he didn't even lack that much size. Maybe 50 pounds on a scale reflect to maybe 10 pounds on the stage because he was so slice and dice. I think that Hadi is going to be a handful for everybody. He comes in condition, and as Chris and I talk about, we appreciate that strided, polished look. So many guys, have this round muscle bellies and all this, but nothing's really happening. Now, Dexter, seasoned veteran, he has feathers on his delts, chest, all over the place, and that's what you can expect from Hadi. So Hadi is a smaller version. It's like, for me, more aesthetic Mohammed Benaziza back in the day.
Right.
I competed with Mohammed Benaziza. He was a top contender. He was winning shows, and he was top 5 at Olympia. So that can happen to Hadi. He is handful for anyone.
But Hadi Choopan, again, getting extensive time. He had a lot to say. He was talking about, the fact that he felt like he should have been here 4 years ago. Then he talked about the kind of physique that he's going to bring, that he's not the biggest, but he has a, quote, beautiful physique. He certainly wanted to get a lot off his chest in the Olympia press conference. I thought that was a real positive aspect.
I did too, and he's going to be a lot for Brendan. I predict that he'll beat Brandon Curry because he's beaten Brandon Curry before, and people say Brandon has improved a lot. Well, so hasn't Hadi. He's the most dangerous person in the lineup, if Dexter is the most dangerous person in the lineup, because what Dexter brings outside of experience is, like Chris Cormier said, he's tight in the key areas that make other people vulnerable, the real deep cuts where it really counts. And Hadi has the same thing, but no offense to Dexter, he's got fresher looking muscle. He's a younger guy to Dexter, even though Dexter probably has this, second or third youngest looking muscle on the stage. So in terms of, how we see the show, where it can go, Hadi's like remarkably dangerous here, and I still don't think people are taking him, serious to the extent. And I'll just, I've said that on the radio show, and I fall back on, he's already beaten Brandon. So in his mind, this guy's easy to get by.
Well, one thing I wanted to point out, Dexter Jackson obviously looking for win number 30, the winningest bodybuilder of all time. And the question was raised to him that if he wins this Olympia, win number 30 at age 49?
50 this year, yeah.
50 this year, would he step away? And he looked to his wife and said, "Sorry, honey, I love this. I love competing too much."
No way he's going to do it. I competed with 61-year-old Albert Backless that beat all of us back in '91 at Olympia. Dexter says if he keeps improving, he's going to keep competing. If he is there out of place and he gets beaten by somebody that he, believes has no business beating him, then it's time to hang it up. But he's going into this show to win. He's our sentimental favorite. I would love to see Dexter winning. Does he has a chance? Hell yes. Now let's just touch this subject. Back in '90s, with the arrival of Dorian, judges start forcing a little bit size. Right. That continue with Ronnie and then with Jay Cutler. But then 2008, small, symmetrical, polished, slice and dice, Dexter Jackson came and won. Now, of course, Jay Cutler came back 2009. Looking crazy. I think that's actually probably the best bodybuilder on the stage ever to grace IBB Olympia stage 2009. He was so, Jay had a wider waist, but he had so much wider shoulders that he was perfectly symmetrical and slice and dice with more size. Now, why did Phil Heath beat Jay Cutler? Because judges decided, okay, that the time to go for symmetry, aesthetics, proportion, and that appealing look. Here comes Deshaun Roden last year. Also, he didn't beat anybody on size. He beat him with the polishment. Right. So can Dexter Jackson beat much bigger Rolly Winkler and Brandon Curry? Absolutely. So I hope he does. It would be great to see him win at the age of pretty much 50. And he's most inspirational bodybuilder of our time. what he has accomplished, none of us are even close to.
Simply incredible, the longevity and what he's been able to bring at a high level of bodybuilding. Chris, I'm going to let you have the final word on this one because I know you have to go coach half the Olympia lineup right now. But Cedric McMillan, who seems to always grab the spotlight and say some of the most profound things that we have seen at Olympia press conferences, he seemed to make it a point of emphasis to address his special invitation and, in terms of explaining his situation and the circumstances that led to him asking the IFBB for that special invitation. What did you think of that?
I think it was, the way he handled it was like got everybody on his side, just like taking you through step by step, like this is how the special invite landed in my lap. He's a great bodybuilder, so he deserves to be here regardless. But he contrasted that with other people who are not on the stage and invited, and he gave it. He put the best picture forward why he was invited. It's a feel good story, and he's beaten everyone up there with the exception of Dexter. Isn't that amazing about Dexter? Yeah. He's beaten everyone up there in bodybuilding shows multiple times, with the exception of Dexter. So, there's no telling how high Cedric can place. I think he can win. I think Dexter can win. I think Hadi can win. I think Rolly can win. I think it all depends on what each individual brings at that time. For each of them to win, someone's got to be off or someone's going to have deficiencies. Rolly's legs, which can water out sometimes, they have to be off. There has to be like this perfect scenario for different people to win because there's no dominant person in this lineup.
So that's going to do it for us from the Olympia press conference. Later tonight, we're going to be at the Meet the Olympians, and we're going to try to get interviews with as many Olympia competitors as possible. As mentioned before, we're going to have this wrap up, but then we're also going to have the full 2019 Olympia press conference video uploaded to our YouTube channel. Keep it locked to RXMuscle.com.